Guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I want to present you the Steampipes Cocoon 22mm MTL RTA. This RTA is not something new. It's been out for half a year or almost a year, I don't know. But German products for me are very hard to get my hands on because not one single web shop in Germany ships products to Belgium. So when they're in stock, they're immediately sold out everywhere. Sure, I could have asked some German people that I know to help me get one of these, but yeah, I don't do that. I don't bother people with questions or help. No, that's not something that I do. But eventually I found one secondhand, and here we go. So as I said, this is not a new product. It's been out on the market for quite a while, but I just wanted to try it. As you will get a spares bag with some O-rings, you will get a blank airflow pin, and then you will get another set of airflow pins. More about this in a minute. And you will also get a spare PSU tank. So this is the Cocoon 22mm MTL RTA. Let's check if this is 22mm. Yeah, of course it's gonna be. Yeah, it's 22mm. Total length, including provided drip tip, 51.3. Not including provided drip tip, 36mm. So on the top you will have this long 510 drip tip. Let me measure the bore on this drip tip, 3.45mm. Then on the bottom you've got your serial number and your usual info. It's a nice and solid piece of stainless steel. No logos or anything on it, so super clean, which I like. The only thing you have here is a little window for your e-liquid capacity. You don't see any airflow holes from the side of the tank. No, that's because the airflow comes in over here on the top. See this little gap? That's where you pull your airflow in on this tank. This top ring, you can remove it. This unscrews like so. And now you can see, yeah, this is where your airflow comes in. This is not where you fill it up with liquid. So this is a tight fit. So this is the airflow ring or enclosure. This is where your airflow comes in. Side airflow to the coil. And in order to get one of these airflow pin outs, you need a flathead screwdriver. And then you can take these airflow pins out. There are only two sets that come with the RTA. So you get a 0.7mm and a 0.9mm set. So that's what they'll give you here. And you also have one blank pin. So if you want to block off one airflow hole, you can. You put this blank pin instead of one hole on the side. You can buy some optional pins as well, but I don't have any with this tank. And then this is what the inside of this piece looks like. So it locks onto the deck, and you can see that this is pretty much the only space that you're gonna have for your coil, and then the airflow will hit the coil on the side. And then this is your build deck. So you got your offset posts over here. So this is how your coil is gonna be mounted in. And then your e-liquid will feed from the bottom up from around these two little pins. Pretty much the same wicking style as I did on the Steampipes Cocoon. This works very well. Absolutely no problems with this. Might be strange to some people how this will work, but trust me, it works. This hole here is to fill up your tank. 3 ml of e-liquid capacity on this RTA. You can further disassemble this. So loosen up the 510 pin. This comes out. Of course, from the top, the post will come loose as well. See, you've got your post and your peak insulator. And now you can just unscrew the tank. Take the base off. Then take this part off. Yeah, a lot of pieces on this RTA, as you see. And then this is a glass tank. You can swap this out with the PSU tank if you prefer that. You got an O-ring sitting loose on here. When you put this together, this will be like so. Your e-liquid will be gonna flow from the bottom, then through capillary action, it will travel up the center of this. Remember, there's also this screw that goes in, and then your e-liquid will feed up around these pieces. As I said, trust me, it works. Don't forget to put this O-ring back in place, the glass over it, and then I can assemble these two parts again. Loosen up those post screws, Phillips head post screws. Nice tolerances on the screws as well, there's hardly any wiggle. Of course, I'm gonna use Dutch handmade coils by Dennis, and I'm gonna use one of these MTL fused Claptons. You can see the specs for the coil over here. It's gonna be a little bit lower than this because I'm gonna pull half a wrap off. So what you pretty much do is, yeah, one leg over here on the post and one leg over there. Let me just wrap this around a bit, hold it in place, and now tighten down the screws. Snip off the remaining leads. Now I'm just gonna leave the coil jig resting on the cutout. That's how I determine the height for the coil. And that's pretty much the coil installed. So let me prepare this, remove hot spots and so on, and I'll see you back in a minute. Coil prepared, I pulled some cotton through. I'm using Maviton X. Now wicking this, in my opinion, is super simple. What I do is I just pull my cotton through this coil jig channel, and then I cut off the cotton just behind it. And then you just push that cotton on the deck. This side is even a little bit too long. Yeah, trim it a little bit shorter. So, and I simply just push that cotton onto the deck. Just let it rest on the deck. That's it, wicked. Now, when I put this chamber over it, I don't know if it shows well, but you can see the side airflow hitting the coil straight on this way. Put this back on. Put this top ring back over. Screw this ring back on. And put a drip tip in place. I'm going to use the stock drip tip. I'm going to use this DPM Datu. The build ohm dot at 0.75 ohms, 15 watts. I'm going to lower this a little bit just to break the coil and the built-in. 12 watts. There's no point that I let you hear the airflow because it is so extremely quiet. I'm gonna try, but I don't think you're gonna hear it. No, this airflow is so quiet, and I've got the 0.9mm airflow pins installed, and this is a super tight draw to me personally. I've tried the 0.7mm pins as well, but that was way too tight for me. Even these 0.9s is what I consider to be on the edge of too tight for me. But the flavor that I get off of this is very good. And the draw that I get from this is so quiet and so smooth that it's very satisfying as well. I'm gonna show you how this vapes. I'm gonna bump up the wattage a little bit. Say 15 watts. Now, my opinion on this Steampipes Cocoon. First of all, build quality, exceptional. Everything feels nice, everything feels solid, robust, built to last. Second of all, the ease of use on this RTA is absolutely awesome. Your coil, you put your cotton on the deck, just like you would do with a normal single coil RTA, well, you treat this the same thing. Just tuck your cotton on that deck and you're ready to go. And as you can see, the cotton is still very saturated, so I get a nice saturated vape on this every time. This wicking system absolutely works. I like the overall styling on the RTA, looks very clean, no logos, nothing on it, just a clean looking RTA. The way that the airflow comes in here from the top, very nice. You heard it, it's so quiet, absolutely extremely quiet. The quietest, is that even a word, RTA that I own by far. And the way that the airflow comes in, it's practically made to be used on side-by-side mods that don't have an adjustable 510 pin. I even like the stock drip tip, which is unusual. Normally the stock drip tips is one of the first things that have to go with me, but this one I like the shape, I like the length. Yeah, comfortable drip tip. For me, the flavor is absolutely fine. Zero complaints on that. Personally, to me, this RTA tastes as good as most of my bottom airflow RTAs that I have. I can barely notice any difference in flavor notes between this one and a bottom airflow RTA. I've got the 0.9mm pins installed, and with those pins that reminds me of like a 1.2mm airflow when it comes from a bottom airflow RTA. And when I use the 0.7mm airflow pins, that reminds me of a 1mm airflow on a bottom airflow RTA. So I might have to chase down the other airflow pins with a bigger hole. It's gonna be a nightmare to get my hands on one of those, but I'll try. This is my old Steampipes Cabello. This is the Cocoon. The wicking system is pretty similar. They refined it on this one. Both of them absolutely great RTAs in my opinion. Issues that I have with this, not much really. The same thing that I had on the Cabello is what I have with this one. Filling up the tank, once you get your liquid past this visible window, it's hard to judge when you completely fill up your tank because you can't see the top part of it. It's hard to judge when your tank is completely full. And this one has 3 ml of e-liquid. I would love to see like an extension tank for this. They made an extension tank for the Cabello, which had 7 ml. I hope that they could make an extension tank for this one as well to bring it from 3 to 5 ml. That would be awesome. I don't know if it's possible, and yeah, since this RTA is almost a year old and I haven't seen any upgrades, so I don't think it's gonna happen, unfortunately. But an extension tank for this would be fantastic in my opinion. I'm very satisfied with the vape quality that I get from this Cocoon. Flavor is on point, the airflow super smooth, super quiet, and the ease of use is a huge pro to me. This Cocoon is absolutely a great tank. I'm gonna keep this one in rotation as one of my top MTL RTAs. That's just personal preference, of course. I know you real die-hard MTL people, you're a horrible lot to deal with. Yes, you are. You always find something to complain about your MTL. It's very hard to please real MTL users. That's just the way that I experience it. But for me, this is a good MTL RTA. I'm glad that I eventually picked one of these up. Yeah, I enjoy the vape quality that I get from it, and that's all that matters to me. So yeah, for the rest, I'm gonna cut it off there. That was it for me, guys, and I will see you later. Take care. Bye bye.